Hello, I'm Michael Askins, architect and technologist. And if you're on this show, it's very likely you know me. So if not, I am a technologist. I've been doing technology. I stopped counting a long time. And we run the IT Pro Tech Talks podcast. We wanted to do a little bit of a different show for you today. We wanted to kind of weave in, some holiday, lighthearted, spirited gifts. What do you get that technologist for Christmas? What do you give that technologist for in your life for, maybe some stocking stuffers, some things like that. So I've wrapped around a couple things, and I'll have special guest Chris, who is normally on the show. He recorded a special message for you two on this. So we're going to combine this all together and we'll get it going. So my number one thing is a Tidbyt. It's Tidbyt. I'll put it up here, over here, somewhere around here. It is really useful. It's a display that connects to the internet, and you configure it for information. So, for instance, I have one just over here off screen, and it gives me my calendar. It tells me what my next event is coming up, and it stays fully aware on time on what's going on. It also tells me stock prices and sports scores and things like that. But more importantly, I have it wired into my Azure tenant. So if I know if something's not working correctly, I get a little notification up there, in addition to the notifications that Microsoft provides you through, the admin center and emails and what have you. But it's really nice to be able to just take a glance up and see the status of all my stuff in the cloud. But more importantly, I can debrief and just totally de-stress in between calls and just take a glance up there and see when the next Pittsburgh Penguins game is or what the previous score was. That might not be a distressing part, but still nonetheless, I'd like to know that. So that's my number one item. My number two item is a Wacom One. And here's the reasoning for the Wacom One. If you're an architect, the technologist, the director, and you're constantly taking notes, you don't want to be pounding away on the keyboard, clicking and clacking away. Sometimes you keep a paper book, but that doesn't make its way digital, and there's some links and things. So it's really nice to be able to just scribe. So you can just, if you don't have a notebook or a tablet that you can scribe on, or if you're set up in meeting format as I am here, bazillions of screens around, it gives me the ability to scribe my notes and get those inside of OneNote. But it also works really good with Microsoft Whiteboard. So when I'm trying to maybe talk to a client or talk to a business colleague or talk upstream to those, I need to try to, break apart a complex scenario, I can just go right to the Wacom One, put Whiteboard on there, and I can just draw away. And again, I'll put links down in the show notes as well as imagery and stuff all around me here. The next one, and I can't speak highly enough of this, is the PolySync 20 USB-C smart speakerphone. That device is amazing for me. I love that device. It allows me to not continuously have headphones on. I noticed when I had buds and headphones on, headaches would be more prevalent. Sometimes I want to still stay caught up with the real world. And we all know it's not really healthy to have headphones or earbuds in your ears, 8 hours a day. So I reserve the headphones and the earbuds for times when I need to really be either private, or if I'm listening to music or I'm writing and I need to not have it blaring through the office, or even at my home office. I don't want to disturb others. And the device actually acts as a battery too as well. And the Teams enabled one, if you have Teams, here's the device right here, has a Teams button so you can interface with Teams and Teams calls, controls your volume and everything around it. It's an amazing device. The fidelity is awesome, and I cannot recommend it more. So I'm going to pause right here, and I'm going to toss it over to Chris to give us some ideas of what he's thinking. Chris?
Hey everybody, welcome back and thanks for checking in. I hope you're all having a great start to the holiday season this year, and that continues right through the new year. I wanted to quickly check in to share my top 3 gift ideas for this year that I think most people could really appreciate, and depending on your budget, share something special. First, if it's not already obvious, the sweater of choice this year will be this baby. Look how pretty it is. We are talking about finding one for like $60 for your favorite techie and it's going to win all the competitions for the Ugly Sweater contest, of course. Next, and a little more on the serious side, for that favorite professional or student in your life, grab them a subscription to ChatGPT for a year. It will offer so much value that it will become the favorite gift for them for sure, as the GPT-4 model and other capabilities greatly outweigh the free 3.5 model. So get that. Finally, I had to do it. As most of you know, I'm an Apple guy for my personal productivity because it just works and I'm locked into that Apple ecosystem. So, of course, I was excited with the recent announcement of the MacBook Pro M3 and the claims that it is 60% faster than my existing M1 MacBook Pro. Now, the M1 is still a great tool. I'm going to put that probably on eBay and make some money back on it because it's going to be something that people want. It's still a very good quality, and but at the same time, when it comes to productivity, when it comes to being able to get stuff done, it just was too tempting to pass up. So anyway, I hope you all have a great holiday season, and share what you got for presents down below in the comments. Great to hear from y'all. Take care and happy holidays. Bye.
All right, so there's some great ideas. That's a great sweater too, by the way. I've always wanted to get one of those, Microsoft sweaters. And indeed, you will win contests with that sweater. Moving on, I have a couple more smaller items that I'm going to talk about, either for, a little more cost effective or a stocking stuffer. One of the things that I mentioned earlier was the Wacom tablet. So it comes with a stylus. I live in the Samsung ecosystem. No matter what tablet you're in, they have these for that. If you're an iPerson, or if you're, Samsung or Surface or Wacom, they make these tips. They're metal tips. They're not going to resolve really well here on the screen. So I am constantly dropping these and is bending the tips sideways. They're little plastic tips, or I write them into little nubs where they just aren't effective anymore. I got these stainless steel tips that work well with the stylus. I'm lucky enough that my Samsung ecosystem I'm in works really well with the Wacom. So the Plus, the Ultra, if you're in that world and you do get a Wacom or have one, that same stylus works across both of these devices. So that is pretty awesome. The prices are really affordable. They range, but they start around $11, $12 and up. One of the other devices that I use, and I use this on my machines both personally and professionally, is a FIDO 2 key from Thetis. It's a USB-C and Bluetooth version that starts around $29. Sometimes you can get them on sale. Sometimes, the price fluctuates, but roughly around $30. This device is a magical device because it does support Bluetooth. So when I'm trying to access websites from my phone, it will work well there. It has the push touch button, so you can put the keys in on your authentication key and touch the button to do another factor of authentication. It has USB-C and USB B, so it does support the legacy versions too as well, and it's a nice small device. The one I got, I don't have it anymore because I just don't use it. It's always in my machine or going with me in the lockbox. It has a little keychain pouch, so if you do go on the move, or if you're a hybrid worker and you have the ability to use this in and out of the office, it allows you to keep it secure and have it with you at all times. Now, that being said, these devices, your IT team, if you're going to do it for corporate identity, has to okay it and onboard your key. I use it for all my private stuff too. So my Google account, my GitHub, my GitLab, all these different services that I use, 1Password, KeyPass, all those different services all work with this device. So if you truly want to be secure with your accounts and your passwords, get that person a FIDO 2 key. One of the other devices that I'm going to bring up is and they're connected to my machine, so I will put an image up on screen for you, is the Microsoft wireless display adapter. So the WDA works really great. So it is really good for broadcasting to a television. Maybe if you need to do wireless HDMI in a conference room and you have a legacy conference room, you have an open HDMI port, that works really well. But what I use it for personally, because you don't want to give somebody a gift for their business, what I use it for personally is I have a screen off to the side on my panel of screens here. I have one of these devices in one of the inputs. So if I want to cast one of my devices to it, I can just cast my laptop, I can cast one of my Samsung tablets or my phone to it, and it'll allow me to interface and connect with it. What's really brilliant about it too is if you are in the Samsung ecosystem, I'll have to refer to you how that works to Chris for the iWorld. I'm not as breast as Chris on the iWorld, but if you do live in the ecosystem of Samsung, you can use the desktop experience, which is called DeX mode, by casting to a device that has that on it. So if you have an unused monitor or even a small monitor and you want to be able to, get your notifications for your phone and what have you on it, it's a very inexpensive device to do that. It works really, really well. One of my other ideas that I wanted to bring up was it's a AirTag in the iWorld or Samsung Smart Tags. There's several different kinds out there. There's three main big ones. Tile is another one. I think it's really great to have one in my bag. I always have one in my bag. So if I do go to a customer site or a partner site and I do, like say we go to a lunch, we go to a different room and I'm not taking my bag with me, I like to just know that I have it, where I can find it again, especially if it's in a place I'm not familiar with. So it's super useful. They have a bunch of different kinds. You can actually get small sticky ones that go in the back of devices. They're really useful. I'm a woodworker, and one of the things I tell people is like, for Christmas, give me double-sided tape. Give me useful things that, I'm constantly spending money on. That shows thought into what there is. Now, I'm going to preface by all these things we've mentioned. Make sure your particular technologist uses one of those ecosystems, or, don't go selecting something for your technologist that is, a personal characteristic of them unless they specifically say so. I always say never get your technologist the keyboard or a mouse or something. I am very picky on what I do, what I have and how I click. And if I'm going to be on it all day long, I don't want to have to be like aggravated. So, think of that, just don't go out and grab, if you're a technologist in your life or even yourself, say, hey, I want a new keyboard. Just don't go out and snag one off the Best Buy shelf. Find out what they like. Some people like soft touch. Some people like clicky. So keep in mind those things. And sometimes, just that gift card to, Amazon or a store of sorts to, or to help them pick what they want. Say, hey, I was thinking, I know you mentioned you wanted a keyboard or a mouse. Here, take this gift card. So that's just a couple ideas that we have. There's also one thing that I'm going to bring up for the hardcore data center person, and that is and again, I don't have it, I'll put a picture up here, is the Klein non-contact voltage tester. You're not only keeping them safe, but it's super useful when you're working in racks or when you're trying to figure things out. They even have some that identify low voltage wires. So, there's certain things like that I tend to try to think of out of the box. So, if I'm getting something for a technologist, a low voltage tester, pair of discrete earplugs, things like that let them know that you're thinking about their health and well-being. So that being said, put in the comments below what your thoughts are. Tell me if you have any of these devices, if you like them, or what you plan on getting for your technologist or for yourself. So that being said, look forward to some holiday shows from us. Please subscribe, like, and comment below. I know you hear that on everything, but it's really important that we get that kind of interaction to keep this kind of stuff going. Again, a little lighthearted video just in between some of the Industry 4.0 stuff that we're doing, and hope you all have a great holiday, however you celebrate, or even if you don't, have a good time off, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.